It's the Sunday Morning Brew with Maddie and Elle.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. It's Maddie. Thanks for waking up with me, y'all. Happy Sunday. My girl Elle had quite the evening last night. She was hanging out at Bellator and she got home kind of late. So you're stuck with me today. She's going to be catching up on some sleep. She's on LA time. It's pretty damn early over there. So yeah, you're going to be hanging out with me this morning. Thank you for joining the Sunday Morning Brew. Plenty of stuff to talk about today. Got a pretty sweet lineup, but first things first, hope you have your coffee ready to go. Thanks for starting your day off with me. And we're starting off with Grind Ops coffee this morning. So the Sunday Morning Brew always starts with some Grind Ops coffee. You can get yours at grindopscoffeeco.com. Look at this bad boy. This is the cinnamon pecan fall vibes. So if you're ready for the fall vibes, right up in here. Law enforcement officer owned and operated. They help support military and first responder nonprofits, and their coffee is really fucking good. So get some yourself, grindopscoffeeco.com. Good morning. Let's talk about fights because there was plenty this weekend. It was like the weekend of fights. We got one was on, Bellator was on, UFC was on. We had a bunch of retirements. So let's start with some retirements, shall we? Mighty Mouse. It's the end of an era. Demetrius Johnson saying, I am done and deciding to retire. Demetrius Johnson, he is one of the... Good morning, the Leprechaun. Thank you for joining. Demetrius Johnson is one of those people that is just going to be in the GOAT conversation always. People like to bash on his GOAT status because one reason or another, he wasn't dealing with high-level competition, whatever. But if you've ever followed Mighty Mouse, you know just how good he is. I remember the first time I watched him was probably 2016. I started getting really into MMA around 2016. And I remember thinking, like, how is this man so fast? He was so fast, so talented, just an all-around incredible legacy. Hey, Sean, no. Dunkin' is good, but I'm telling you right now, I'm a New Englander. I drink my Dunkin'. That's what I do. Caramel swirl with a little bit of almond milk. This is better. I'm telling you right now. It's very, very good. It's very good. And they're like good people, you know? So that kind of makes a difference too. But yeah, so shout out to Demetrius Johnson. What an incredible career. So technically skilled, so fast. I mean, this man had a record 11 consecutive title defenses. Okay. So he is certainly in the GOAT conversation whenever you have one. Liam Harrison also throwing the gloves down. One of my absolute favorite Muay Thai fighters. This man... Now, I'm trying to think of a way to say this without sounding weird. But if you've ever seen him hit pads, it's like ASMR. Okay? It's like, this is how it should sound and look when you hit pads. Now, I would never want to be his pad holder because it looks insane. But this man has so much power. He had an incredible Muay Thai career. And then he signs to ONE and he gets put in those 4-ounce gloves. That was wild to watch. Even though he was kind of on the back end of his career, he was still such a force to be reckoned with every time he was in that cage or in the ring. Such a powerhouse of a human. And he gets brownie points because a while back, my husband, Ross, made his professional debut. This was years ago. So this was 2019, I believe. He's a huge Liam Harrison fan. I DM Liam Harrison. I say, hey, man, big fan. My husband's a big fan of you. He's about to make his debut with Glory. Could you just send him like a little congratulations? This is before like Cameo was kind of a big thing. I think it was around, but he answered. He sent me a video to give to Ross, the kindest guy. Oh my God, it was so cool. Never have gotten to meet him in person, but I would love to see that. Did Gilbert Burns retire? I don't think he did. I didn't see him retire. Now, granted, I did shut off the stream as soon as they raised Brady's hand, but I did not see that. There were three that I saw: the Mighty Mouse, Liam Harrison, and then Matt Schnell decided to retire, which kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that, and I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think that was an emotional decision? So Cody Durden, 4 days notice, takes a fight, secures that choke in round 2. Fantastic. Now that means Matt Schnell loses 3 in a row. He's been dealing with a bunch of cancellations. I was looking at his Tapology, and it's just like cancel, cancel, cancel. He's been with the promotion since 2016. He's 34 years old. Okay. A retirement kind of makes sense. I don't know. I was a little shocked by it, and it seemed emotional to me because he just took his gloves off, threw them down, and walked out of the cage. He didn't want to say anything. He just kind of stormed out, and that was the end of it. Schnell had a major fall off, so not surprised. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just like, wait, what? Like, what? It just all happened so fast, right? Because it's like, usually you stay, you say a few words. My dog's going insane. I apologize. But usually you stay and, say a few words and, say thank you for supporting me all these years. But yeah, I don't know. Schnell retired because he knew he wasn't going to be a champ and he lost it. Might as well retire. Listen, sometimes if you know that you're not going to get the goal you wanted, you know that you're on the tail end of your career. I'm going to kill my dog. That's all that's going to happen. Knocking around a water bowl. But anyway, maybe it was the smartest move for him. There's a piece of me that feels like it was an emotional decision. It felt very fast, very just like, I'm so mad I lost. Throw my gloves down. Let me get out of here. I'm really curious to hear what he has to say. Maybe 24, 48 hours removed. Smart for his health. Yeah, it probably is. I mean, if you're thinking about retirement, it's probably time to retire. It's one of those things. A couple of retirements went down last night. Let's take a closer look at UFC Vegas. A couple of my favorite moments. So a lot of people are talking about that weird finish for the Amorim versus Demopoulos situation. So it looked like Jacqueline had her hands in Vanessa's glove. Now, I watched it. I mean, they replayed it a bunch of different times. To me, it did look like her fingers were in the glove and kind of like pulling this way. So if I'm Vanessa, yeah, I'm a little ticked off by that. As a ref, I could see why that would be hard to see. But then it's also like you get the replay. So I don't know if there's like I don't know the exact rule of when that happens and how you're supposed to handle it, but it does feel like there should be some sort of penalty towards that. It's just messy because, she did secure the armbar and then, you kind of secured the finish. So how do you step back and reverse and reset? And it's just, I think there's like a lot of weirdness to that one. I do believe that Jacqueline in her post-fight presser denied doing that. She thinks that it was fair game. Talking about the angle in which she did it, she said it was fair game. Either way, that girl is a stud. She looked great. She did exactly what she should have done, brought it right to the canvas, and that's where she shines. So, it might have been quote unquote controversial, but she still got the W and she looked fantastic. The night of elbows, though. Can we talk about how many incredible elbow sequences we got to watch last night? Like, it was wild. Padilla absolutely getting the number 1 spot with the nastiest picture perfect elbow against Zhu Rong. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever gotten hit by an elbow. I've gotten hit by a few with elbow pads on, and that alone sucks. So I can't, I never had a fight without elbow pads. So I cannot even fathom what that feels like. His eye What's that character from the Goonies? That's kind of what he looked like. Like just instant. He looked like that character from the Goonies. And even before that, like Zhu looked fantastic. Like this was supposed to be his comeback fight. Like, you know, he built his way back. He got back into the organization. Sloth, is that his name? I don't think that's his name. I don't know. And he looked fantastic until he didn't. And I love that Padilla, yes, the big Superlek finish. I love that Padilla called on that, saying Superlek had an incredible finish against John Haggerty in one with an incredible elbow. And he was like, I was studying it. I decided to use it myself. Love that shit. Love that shit. Accidental elbows while rolling, those suck. Totally wouldn't want an intentional one. Exactly. Yeah. It's just not, it's not fun. It's absolutely not fun. But yeah, what an incredible performance from Padilla. Incredible. And then you have Garcia doing a fantastic job of using elbows instead of punches during his fight. That was such a fun fight. Let me make sure, pulling up the fight card here. Yeah, Garcia and Nelson. That was a pretty fun, you know, exchange a little bit. I expected Nelson to come out a little more hot. But Garcia did exactly what he should have done, you know. Very well-rounded, and I just love that he decided to use elbows instead of punches. A lot of people get punch hungry, you know, and it's so much more deadly to use elbows. If you can, why not do it, right? Nelson missed weight by a good amount. Yeah. I mean, maybe that played a factor into why he wasn't so aggressive. Like I'm used to him being a wrecking ball, you know? So if you can use the elbows, why not? And Garcia did just that. And I thought that was an incredible performance. I wanted 5 rounds of Andrade versus Silva in the worst way. That was such a good fight. Silva won every round, but Andrade is such a dog, and she did exactly what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to keep Silva on her back foot, crowd her, make the cage feel smaller. And I think Andrade felt like she could wear Silva down with that tactic, but Silva is so fucking good at using her angles, at switching her stances. She was on her back foot the entire time and it didn't matter. Like she was so good at striking on her back foot and switching it up, and just not only was she good at striking on her back foot, but she was doing incredible high level combinations at such weird angles and so fast that it was so fun to watch. Now, I don't really agree with the constant spinning, like the constant spinning back kicks. Like very cool, very flashy, definitely gets you up on the scorecard. But at some points, she was doing it when it wasn't necessary. You know, like I really liked her sidekick. I would have loved to see her throw that more. She threw like one, knocked Andrade on her butt, and then never went back to it. And I was confused by that. But then again, I'm not Natalia Silva, and she's doing fine all by herself. Let me see some of these comments here. Great fight out of the women on the main card. Absolutely. Huge respect for your contribution towards MMA. Thank you so much, Sujin. That's so nice. It seems Silva's movement was too quick. Yeah, she was very quick. I think she just wasn't phased by the constant moving forward of Andrade. I think she's probably used to that. And she's got to have some type of Taekwondo background because her movement was insane. That jab, yep, an incredible jab. Interesting. Jessica's game is too old. She needs to figure something out for the best of her fight style. Yeah, that's a tough one. And if Elle were, I feel like if Elle were here, she would attack this comment. She loves Jessica Andrade so much. And rightfully so. She's an absolute G. But yeah, I think Natalia Silva is the future. I think Natalia Silva, this was a huge win for her because it showed the rest of the division that she's here to play. And I would put Silva against any of the 1 through 5 in the flyweight division. I think she would do well against any of them. I think her versus Manon Fiorot would be absolutely nuts. It would just be like a most delicious striking match ever. Grasso would certainly give her some testing on the ground, a bit more than we saw last night. I think a lot of the girls are going to be looking at her like, okay, I'm just going to take you down. But good luck, because her movement is insane. What a star. I totally see her as a future champion. We do miss Elle today. We do. She would have had lovely stories from Bellator last night. She was there. I believe Jonathan Ramelkhan was there as well. She had a great seat. I mean, she was getting some serious content. Definitely check it out on the Fight Bananas pages. But I'm sure she'll have plenty of stories for us this coming Tuesday on the Fight Bananas podcasts. So let's welcome Valentina. Yes, Valentina this weekend, baby. We will get to that in just a second. UFC Noche is coming. So excited. But yeah, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to touch upon. Well, obviously the main event, Brady having a stellar performance. That fight was a lot of fun. Now, I will always admit that I am a striker at heart. Can we just give a shout out to my dad real quick? Hey, Dad. Good morning, Dad. I am 31 years old, and my dad is still my biggest fan. Hey, Dad. Anyway, I will be the first to admit that I am always a striker fan at heart. It's my background. It's what I do. But last night's main event, such high-level grappling exchanges. It was so much fun to watch. Like, the intricacies that were happening, the reversals, the constant thinking of what to do next. Like, it was so cool to watch two very high-level jiu-jitsu players use their wrestling, use their grappling, just use their skills in such a way. And I'm glad that it did go to the ground every so often. I would have liked to see it a little more, because it just would have been really fun to see such high level people going at it. But yeah, Brady's a star. I think that was a great performance. I'm scared to say this. Burns looked old. Gilbert Burns looked old. And it makes me sad. It makes me really sad. Not to say his grappling, his jiu-jitsu, all that looked fantastic. But where was the blitzing? Where was the aggression? Where was the powerhouse that we love so much? He looked old, and it makes me sad. He did ragdoll Burns. I mean, at one point he literally lifted him up and dropped him. That was crazy. Is Burns a gatekeeper now? I think he's been a gatekeeper for a little while. And I think I wanted Brady to win this, not only because I'm a fan. I have to sneeze. Woo! I wanted Brady to win, not only because I'm a fan, but I want this division to get mixed up a little bit. I feel like this division, it's always the same guys at the top, and they lose one, they get dropped, so then they work their way back up, and then it's always the same guys, just kind of revolving door. And I feel like with this emergence of Brady and his, rise, it's gonna kind of bring some funness to the division. Let's see. Brady looks so good. He did. Ian Gary versus Sean Brady next. Let me look at these rankings here, because I don't think Ian Gary has a matchup, right? Let's see. Ian's sitting at 7. And then Brady's at 8, but I'm sure he moved up a bit. Yeah, so Brady probably moves up to 6. I don't know if he's going to want to fight backwards. Yeah, I don't know. Has he fought Madalena? Well, he won. Maybe Colby Covington? Why not, right? Why not? I don't know. I don't know what I want from Ian Gary. I just can't stand him at this point. And this is coming from a big Ian Gary fan. I was a big Ian Gary fan for a while. And now I'm just like, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about you. But yeah, I mean, yeah, a perfect matchup. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be an interesting clash of styles. I think where Brady excels is he is just a complete fighter. He's really good on the feet. He's good enough on the feet, but then his ground game is so good. I think he gives Ian Gary a little bit of a problem when it comes to his grit and his ability to just be a complete MMA fighter. I think Ian Gary as a striker is probably much better, but when it comes to the fight game, you kind of need to have more tools than just really good striking at this point. I think we're seeing the UFC evolve, and you no longer can be good at just one discipline. You have to be good at all of it. Let's see. Sometime athletes need some break. Just Burns needs it too. He is so scary. Usually found on a streak. Yeah, maybe he just needs a little break. Maybe he just needs to, rest the body. I mean, he didn't retire. I don't think he did. If he did, please correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody can stand him now. I'm assuming you're talking about Ian Gary. Yeah, that man is wild. But if you're just joining, thank you so much for tuning in to the Sunday Morning Brew. I'm Maddie Levine, drinking my Sunday morning brew with grind ops. But this podcast also brought to you by Wow Wipes for women. I know that there's a lot of boys in the comment section here, but you probably smell after the gym too. Wow Wipes for women. This is my new go-to after the gym. They have vitamin E, chamomile, hyaluronic acid. Stop smelling like crap after leaving the gym. If you go to getwowwipes.com, you can actually unlock 50% off your first order. So go from sweaty to ready in seconds. That's what I'm talking about. So if you have a lady in your life that's a workout queen, go to getwowwipes.com and grab her those Wow Wipes so she can smell fresh as a daisy after she works out. Yeah, guys, can we talk about this for a second? Noche is this Saturday. UFC Noche is this freaking Saturday. I'm so excited. Where are you guys watching it? I need to know. And are ticket prices slow? Let's talk about this for a second, because that's been the biggest headline that I've been seeing is, tickets aren't selling. Well, there's a couple of interesting wrenches, I guess you could call them. UFC Noche is about to be the first live sports competition ever held inside the Sphere. Before this first live competition, they've been having concerts, they've been having incredible shows. I was in Vegas a couple months ago. I'm trying to remember. Actually, oh my God, almost a year ago. And we were looking into going to see a show at the Sphere, and tickets incredibly expensive. So we're talking like 700 something, like for a random seat. Now I know there's no bad seats in the Sphere, but that's just a show. And now this is the first sporting event. So I'm not shocked. When everybody was shocked at the ticket prices, I wasn't shocked, because this is a once in a lifetime thing. It's going to be like no other. The production is going to be insanity. And you know that there are people that are going to throw money at this. So Dana White kind of chirping back at all the headlines saying that it's kind of going slow. And he said they're going at a normal rate, and a sellout with a record gate is expected. He said it's expecting a gate of $21 million. The record is believed to be UFC 205, which took in nearly 18 million. That's incredible. This would be technically the 306th UFC pay-per-view, but it's not being called that due to the special nature, which Saudi Arabia's Riyadh Season brand is title sponsoring. So everybody's calling it UFC 306. I guess they're not. I didn't realize. Well, they're calling it UFC Noche, but still, $21 million. So I think the tickets are doing okay. I think there was like 1,000 tickets left. So I think that's going to be okay. But I think, why am I here? Good question, Roland. Why are you here? Glad you're here though. Leaving comments. Thank you. Love that. But this is going to be incredible. It's going to be a spectacle, whether you're there or whether you're not. I'm probably going to be watching it from the comfort of my couch and be mind blown. Is there a chance that we may be let down? I hope not. I truly hope not. I hope this isn't UFC 300 all over again. That would be, but the amount of money that is being poured into this production is going to be insane. What I'm really curious to see is how the fighters deal with all of this hubbub, right? Because there's going to be, we've seen like sneak peeks of what the setup is kind of going to look like, but there's going to be a lot of new stuff going on that fighters are going to have to deal with and stay focused. So it's like the amount of lights, the amount of production around them. Are they going to get affected by the screen? Like, are they going to get distracted? Are they going to, there's so many new things that a lot of fighters have never dealt with before. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be incredible. Dana said there's supposed to be a director for the people watching from home. So yes, I heard that too. So I think the show that people see at home is a little different than what they see at the Sphere, which I think is freaking awesome. Do you remember the UFC fighter Kenny Robertson? Let me look this guy up. Let's see. Kenny Robertson. I do not. To be fair, I started getting into MMA around 2015, 2016. That man seems like he was before my time. I could be wrong, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. We're going to be diving into it more on Tuesday for the Fight Bananas show. My man, Dave Van Auken, is going to be in Vegas during this fight week, which is wild. He's going to be with John Radford heading to the Canelo Alvarez fight at T-Mobile Arena. So he's going to be able to not only enjoy the boxing fight, but he will also be hopefully on tap for some MMA stuff. I don't know. If I know Dave, he's going to try and be at two places at once. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on the Fight Bananas pages because content this week is going to be insanity. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Definitely keep an eye out for all of that. Everyone see some all stuff holding character like on Oliveira. Yeah. Well, why is it okay? Can we talk about this for a second? Why are social media people completely obsessed with trying to figure out if fighters have staff or not? I feel like there have been 3, maybe 4 fights in a row where I have seen graphics of people zooming in on somebody's arm or zooming in on somebody's leg and being like, they have staff. Dude, I'm not even going to let myself worry about that. I'm going to pretend like Merab had a scab or something. Like, I don't want to even pretend that he has staff. I would literally lose my mind if he can't fight on Saturday because I have a feeling this fight is going to be a lot closer than people realize. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to pick a winner right now. I still don't know. In my heart of hearts, I don't know. But I think this is going to be an insane main event. So, with that being said, I'm going to go finish my coffee. I'm going to enjoy my morning. It is a beautiful sunny day in Rhode Island. Wherever you're joining me from, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday and join us on Tuesday for the Fight Bananas podcast, okay? Grind Ops Coffee. Winner is definitely Sean. It'll be bloody. Okay. I love it. It took us 30 minutes for somebody to say who's gonna win. So shout out to Jeremy. Thank you so much. Who's the backup? That is a good question. You know what? I think I did know who that backup is. Let me see for a second. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard Figueiredo. I feel like I saw something about Figueiredo being the backup. That might be fake, though. I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. I'm going to leave you, though. So shout out to Grind Ops Coffee. Go to grindopscoffeeco.com to get yours. Shout out to Workout Wipes for Women. Stop smelling like shit after the gym. Get your WOW wipes. And I hope you have an excellent Sunday. I will see you